Ever feel like you're shouting into the void trying to get people to, actually be interested in what you're selling?
It's tough out there.
It is. It really is. It's like you're putting in the work, right? You're showing up online, but it's like trying to get Kylie Jenner to like actually open a cold DM,
Yeah, that aren't exactly in your favor.
No, not at all. So, on that note, today's deep dive is all about cracking that code. We're diving into Alex Hormozzi's book, $100 Leads, to, well, hopefully steal some of his secrets.
Well, what's fascinating about Hormozy is that it's not really about secrets. It's more like he just gets it. He's
Yeah.
built this like nine-figure business empire
Yeah.
by focusing on something so simple but so overlooked.
And that is.
The engaged read. That's his thing.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. I mean, we all know leads are important, right? That's like marketing 101. But what makes an engaged lead different from, say, just having a ton of random email addresses?
Think of it this way. You could have 1 million followers on social media, but if they're not actually interested in what you're posting, what's the point?
Right, it's just vanity metrics at that point.
Exactly. An engaged lead is different. It's the difference between someone stumbling across your name in a sea of internet noise and someone actively choosing to tune in to what you have to say.
It's like you said, it's not about just having a big audience, it's about having the right audience.
100%. It's about quality over quantity.
And that's where I think Hormozy's approach is so refreshing. Because he doesn't just tell you to get more leads, he breaks down exactly how to get more of the right leads, the ones who are actually going to turn into customers and clients.
He really flips the script on how a lot of people think about content creation, too.
Yeah.
He had this aha moment where he realized it's not about the content itself being this precious commodity.
Wait, what? Explain that.
It's about the audience the content allows you to build.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. So it's not about creating like the most amazing blog post in the world. It's about creating a blog post that attracts the right people to your little corner of the internet.
Exactly. And he uses the example of Kylie Jenner becoming a billionaire, right?
Mhm.
It wasn't by selling a product initially. It was by building this massive engaged audience that couldn't wait to see what she offered next.
It's like she built the stage before she even worried about what song she was going to sing.
Exactly.
And that completely changes the game, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It shifts your focus from like short-term gains to long-term strategy.
Yeah.
Because once you have that engaged audience, you've created something incredibly valuable. These are people who trust you, they resonate with what you're putting out there, and they're primed to be receptive to what you have to offer.
Which is at the end of the day the whole point, right?
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so we've established that engaged leads are the name of the game. But how do we actually get them? Like, what are the tangible steps we can take to start building that audience, that stage, as we were talking about? So how do we actually build that stage, that engaged audience we keep talking about?
Well, the good news is Hormozy doesn't just talk about it. He like really breaks it down. He lays out these 4 core methods for generating leads, and he actually shows you exactly how he's used them to build his businesses.
Okay, so no more vague advice, just straight to the good stuff. I like it.
Exactly. And it's not like these are just, random tactics he's throwing at the wall. They actually build on each other in a really smart way.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So what's the first method?
He starts with what he calls warm reach outs.
Warm reach outs. Okay, that sounds pretty self-explanatory, right? You're reaching out to people you already have some sort of connection with.
Right, exactly. Like people you've met at a conference or maybe someone who's commented on one of your posts online.
Yeah, people already on your radar.
Exactly. But he takes it a step further. He gives you this like really practical framework for how to do it effectively.
Oh, I love a good framework. Lay it on me.
It's the ACA method. Acknowledge, contextualize, ask.
ACA. Got it. So it's like you're not just sending out a generic, hey, it was nice to meet you message.
Right. You're actually putting in a little bit of effort. Like he gives this great example in the book about how he connected with this guy he'd met briefly at a conference. Instead of just a generic follow-up, he actually acknowledged their shared interest in a specific topic, reminded him where they met, and then made a simple ask to connect further.
Okay, so it's all about making it personal, making it memorable. Because let's be real, how many generic, it was great to meet you emails do we all get after a conference? It's like they all just blend together.
Exactly. But when you actually take the time to Like, remember a detail about someone or mention something specific you talked about. It shows you're actually paying attention.
It's like taking that awkward post-networking event interaction and actually turning it into a genuine opportunity for connection. And that's what I love about his approach. It's all about building real relationships, not just blasting out mass messages and hoping for the best.
100%. And you know what? That same principle, it actually applies to his second method, too, post-free content.
Okay, post-free content. So that's like blogging, creating videos, all that good stuff.
Exactly. But again, he doesn't just say create content. He talks about finding your unique voice, your unique angle. Like, what is it that you bring to the table that no one else does?
Right, because everyone and their mother is creating content these days, so you got to stand out somehow.
Exactly. And he talks about not being afraid to, like, let your personality shine through, because people connect with people. It's about becoming a voice people actually want to listen to because you're consistently delivering valuable insights.
Okay, so you touched on something important there, consistency. Because it's not enough to just create one amazing piece of content and then disappear.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
He emphasizes that consistency is key. It's
Hmm.
about showing up regularly, building that trust over time.
And becoming a go-to source of information for your audience.
Exactly. And then there's the give-ask ratio, which I think is so crucial.
The give-ask ratio. Tell me more.
It's easy to fall into the trap of constantly promoting yourself, right? Like, buy my product, sign up for my course. But Hormozi flips that script.
Oh, how so?
He recommends a 10.1 ratio. Give 10 pieces of valuable content for every one ask.
10 to 1. Okay, so you're really putting in the work to provide value before you even think about asking for anything in return.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those asks, they don't have to be like a hard sell or anything. They can be as simple as, hey, if you like this post, join my email list for more. Or leave a comment below and tell me what you think.
It's about starting a conversation, not just shouting into the void.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay, so we've got warm reach outs and post-free content. Both great ways to build relationships with people who are already somewhat familiar with you. But what about reaching people who've never even heard of you? Like, how do you get on their radar in the first place?
That's where his third method comes in, cold outreach.
Cold outreach. Okay, I have to admit, this is the one I'm always a little hesitant about. I feel like it's so easy to come across as spammy, you know?
I get it.
Mm.
And honestly, it can be spammy if you're not doing it right.
Right.
But Hormozi, he stresses the importance of personalization, like really doing your research. He actually shares this story about how he landed like a really crucial mentorship early on in his career by sending out these highly personalized emails.
Okay, so not just blasting out a generic message to a million random people.
Exactly. He sent out like 40 emails to gym owners. And he really took the time to tailor each one to the specific person he was reaching out to. And guess what?
Only one person responded.
Yep. But that one person, they became a mentor to him, and it completely changed his business.
Wow. So even though it's called cold outreach, it's still about building a genuine connection.
Exactly. It's about quality over quantity. Just like we were talking about before. It's about finding the right people to connect with and then putting in the effort to craft a message that's actually going to resonate with them.
Because nobody wants to feel like they're just a name on a list.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered warm outreach, content marketing, cold outreach. What's the fourth and final piece of the puzzle?
The one and only, paid ads.
Paid ads. So we're getting into the world of Facebook ads, Google ads, all that.
Yep, all of that. Which, in today's digital landscape, it's kind of unavoidable if you want to scale your reach quickly, right?
Yeah, organic reach is great and all, but sometimes you got to give it a little boost.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Hormozi emphasizes that it's not about just throwing money at the problem and hoping for the best.
Which, let's be honest, is what a lot of people end up doing.
Oh, yeah. They think, oh, I'll just boost this post or I'll create a quick ad, and then they're surprised when it doesn't work.
So what's the key to making paid ads actually work?
It's all about strategy. He actually breaks down the process into 3 phases: learn, break even, print money.
Learn, break even, print money. I like it. So it's not about expecting to make $1 million overnight.
Not at all. And I love how he emphasizes that learning phase because so many people just skip over it. They jump into paid ads without really understanding how to target their audience effectively, how to track the results, all that good stuff.
They're basically just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks.
Exactly. And they end up wasting a ton of money in the process.
Yeah.
But when you actually take the time to learn the ropes, to figure out what works and what doesn't, that's when you can start to see a real return on your investment.
It's about finding that sweet spot where your message is resonating with the right people and your ad spend is actually generating a positive return on investment.
Exactly. And that's what Hormozy is all about, making sure you're getting the most bang for your buck.
So we've covered a lot of ground here with those core four, warm outreach, content marketing, cold outreach, and paid ads. Like, that's a lot to think about already, right?
It is. It is. And it's actually interesting you say that because this is where things get really interesting in the book.
Hmm.
Because, Hormozy, he doesn't just leave you to implement all this stuff on your own. He introduces this concept of, it's like lead getters.
Lead getters. Okay, I'm not familiar with that term. What's a lead getter?
It's kind of what it sounds like. It's basically anyone or anything that helps you bring in more leads. And he breaks it down into these like three main categories: employees, agencies, and affiliates.
Okay, so when he says employees, he's talking about hiring people specifically to help you get more leads, right?
Exactly. And this is where a lot of like solopreneurs, or smaller businesses, they kind of hit a wall. They figure out how to generate leads, but then they get so bogged down in the day-to-day of actually trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to run a marathon while also baking the cake and setting up the finish line.
Exactly. It's just too much for one person to handle.
Right.
And that's where employees come in. You can, hire someone to manage your social media, to write your email newsletters, to run your paid ads, all that good stuff.
So you can focus on, actually running your business.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about agencies? How are they different from just hiring an employee?
So agencies are great if you need like more specialized knowledge or resources that you might not have in-house. Like, say you want to get really serious about SEO, but you don't have the time or the bandwidth to learn all the ins and outs yourself. You could hire an SEO agency to handle that for you.
Okay, so you're basically outsourcing a specific part of your lead generation process to the experts.
Yeah, exactly. And they can often hit the ground running faster than a new employee because they already have the experience and the systems in place.
Got it. Okay, so that's employees and agencies. What about the third one? Affiliates.
So affiliates, they're like an army of advocates out there promoting your business for you.
Okay, so that's like influencer marketing, right? Where you partner with people who have a large following in your niche.
It can be, but it's not limited to that. Affiliates can be anyone who loves your product or service and is willing to recommend it to their audience in exchange for a commission.
Oh, interesting. So it's like having a whole sales team out there working for you, but you only pay them when they actually make a sale.
Exactly. And it can be incredibly effective because people are more likely to trust a recommendation from someone they already know and trust.
Makes sense. It's funny, this whole idea of lead getters, it really reminds me of something Hormozy says early on in the book. He talks about how he almost went bankrupt with one of his first businesses, a supplement company.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story. Wasn't he like working crazy hours, trying to do everything himself?
Yeah. And it wasn't until he finally started hiring people and building out his team that he was able to turn things around.
And that's something he emphasizes throughout the book, this idea that you don't have to do everything yourself. In fact, trying to do everything yourself, it's often a recipe for burnout and honestly failure.
It's about working smarter, not harder, right?
Exactly. And part of working smarter is recognizing your own strengths and weaknesses and then finding the right people to help you fill in the gaps.
And I think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, especially in the beginning. We have this tendency to want to control everything. But the truth is, you can't do it all on your own.
Nope, you can't. And honestly, you shouldn't want to do it all on your own because when you try to do everything yourself, you end up spreading yourself too thin. You're not able to give your full attention to anything, and as a result, nothing gets done as well as it could be.
Yeah, you become the bottleneck in your own business.
Exactly. So, if there's one thing I hope people take away from this conversation, it's this. It's okay to ask for help. In fact, it's essential. If you want to build a successful business, you need to build a strong team. And that includes bringing in people who can help you generate more leads, close more deals, and ultimately grow your business.
I love that. So to wrap things up here, what are like 2 or 3 actionable takeaways that our listeners can implement today to start getting more of those high quality engaged leads that we've been talking about?
Okay, so first and foremost, figure out who your ideal customer is. Like really get clear on who you're trying to reach because if you're trying to talk to everyone, you're going to end up talking to no one.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, if you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one.
Exactly. Once you know who you're talking to, then you can start thinking about the best ways to reach them.
Which is where those core 4 methods come in.
Exactly. So experiment with those different approaches, see what works for you, what resonates with your audience, And don't be afraid to, try new things.
Because at the end of the day, the best way to figure out what works is to just get out there and experiment. Right?
100%. And finally, remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. Building a successful business takes time, it takes effort, and it takes consistency. But if you're willing to put in the work, the rewards can be incredible.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive into Alex Hormozi's $100 in Leads. If you're looking for, more actionable insights and strategies to grow your business, you can head over to our website at acquisition.com. We've got tons of free resources, including articles, videos, and even a free course on how to start and scale your dream business. So that's acquisition.com. Until next time, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and as always, keep diving deep.